A team gets a brilliant idea, everyone in the room gets super excited, and they spend the next 3, maybe 6 months building this beautiful, polished new thing. They launch it, they pop the champagne, and then crickets. Nobody uses it. It is an incredibly expensive way to find out you solved a problem that nobody actually had.
So, how do the best teams on the planet avoid this trap? Well, it's not magic. It's a fundamental shift in how they think. They totally change their mindset from just guessing to actually learning. Every single idea for a new feature or an update isn't treated like an item on a to-do list. It's seen as an experiment that's just waiting to be run.
And there's a name for this whole approach. It's called hypothesis-driven development. Really, you can just think of it as applying the scientific method to product management. It all starts by admitting one simple, kind of humbling truth. Every new idea you have is just a really well-educated guess. So your job isn't to just build a feature anymore. Your job is to find the fastest, cheapest way to prove that guess is right or wrong, way before you commit to building the real thing.
And here's what that actually looks like in practice. A typical team might say, hey, let's add a live chat feature. Okay, that's a nice thought, but it's a wish, not a plan. How do you know if it worked? You can't. A smart team reframes it as a bet. They'd say, we believe that adding a live chat feature will increase our checkout conversions by 10%. Boom, suddenly you've got a clear action, a specific metric, and a totally clear way to know if you won or lost that bet.
And look, this isn't just some trendy new framework or a buzzword. In the world's most innovative companies, the product hypothesis is the fundamental unit of work. It is the absolute core building block of progress. It's what separates the teams that consistently deliver real value from the ones that are just shipping features into the void.
So what's the anatomy of one of these smart bets anyway? How do you actually take a simple idea for an improvement and turn it into a powerful, testable statement that your team can actually get behind and work on?
Well, the industry standard is this beautifully simple template called the if-then-because framework. It's so powerful because it forces you to connect 3 absolutely crucial pieces: the specific change you want to make, the measurable outcome you expect to see, and, this is the most important part, why you believe that change is going to cause that outcome.
Okay, let's walk through a common example. Let's say we want to improve an e-commerce checkout. A vague idea is make the checkout better. Useless, right? A powerful hypothesis using the framework sounds like this. If we simplify the checkout process by removing 2 form fields, then we will reduce cart abandonment by 8% because our data shows the current process is just too long and it's causing user friction. See the difference? Now the entire team has crystal clarity. They know what to change, what number to watch, and exactly whose problem they're solving.
So what makes a hypothesis truly great? Well, it's got to stand on 4 pillars. First, it has to be testable. You need to be able to run an experiment. Second, and this is a big one, it must be falsifiable. That just means you have to be able to be proven wrong. If you can't fail, it's not a real test. Third, it has to be specific. No fuzzy goals like improve engagement. And finally, it has to be aligned. Proving it true needs to actually matter to the business. It has to move a needle that counts.
Okay, so you have your perfect hypothesis. Now what? The most common mistake, the trap, is to just jump right into building the full polished feature. But that's just a feature factory mindset sneaking back in. The real goal here is to learn as much as you possibly can, as fast as you can, without actually building the final product.
And the good news is there's a whole toolkit of lean methods to do just that. For a simple UI change, you can A/B test it with a small slice of your users. For a bigger new feature idea, you can build a clickable prototype and just watch how people interact with it. You can even run what's called a fake door test. That's where you literally add a button for a feature that doesn't exist yet, just to see how many people are interested enough to click it. These kinds of tests can give you powerful data in a matter of days, not months. And the classic Airbnb story is just the perfect example of this. In the early days, their growth was totally flat. Their hypothesis was that the low-quality, user-submitted photos on the site were hurting people's trust. So, did they build a complex new photo uploading system for hosts? Nope. The founders themselves flew to New York, rented a nice camera, and just went and took professional photos of the listings. It was a scrappy, simple experiment. And the result? Weekly revenue immediately doubled, proving their hypothesis right and basically unlocking their entire business model.
And that brings us to what is maybe the most important mindset shift of all. An experiment that proves your hypothesis was wrong is not a failure. It is a massive success.
Every time your data tells you no, that's a no to wasting months of your team's valuable time building something that nobody actually wants. It's learning, and in this game, learning is everything.
So, your experiment is done. You've got the data, you've successfully learned something new. Now you're at this critical decision point. What do you actually do with that knowledge?
You basically have 3 paths you can take. If the data strongly supports your hypothesis, then you persevere. You've de-risked the idea, and now you can confidently invest the resources to build out the full feature. If the results are kind of mixed, you iterate. Maybe the core idea was on the right track, but the execution was a little off. So you tweak it, refine the idea, and you run another test. And if the data clearly proves your hypothesis was wrong, you pivot. You kill the idea, guilt-free, and you move on to the next one, knowing you just saved the company a ton of time and money.
So I'll leave you with a challenge. Think about the product you work on, or even just an app you use every single day. What is the single biggest unproven assumption that product is making about its users? And more importantly, how could you design a fast, cheap experiment to test that assumption this week? Answering that question is the very first step to making smarter bets and to building products that people truly love